In a small dusty village, where narrow lanes were lined with old mud houses, lived a humble shopkeeper named Rahim. His shop was tiny, barely the size of a single room, but it was the heart of the neighborhood, packed with daily groceries, toffees for children, and old wooden shelves filled with memories. Rahim's shop was more than just a business. It was a lifeline. Rahim lived with his wife, Bibi, and his 2 children, 10-year-old Ayan and his younger sister Alina, just 6. They weren't rich. In fact, Rahim worked from sunrise to sunset just to keep the lantern burning at home. But their small house was always filled with laughter, warmth, and dreams. One rainy evening, while closing his shop, Rahim sat under the tin roof and watched the drops fall. A boy passed by, barefoot, trying to shelter a piece of bread under his shirt. Rahim called him, gave him a free cup of tea and a warm paratha. "Why did you do that, Abba?" Ayan asked. Rahim smiled. "Because one day, when I'm not here, I want someone to do the same for you." Those words stuck in Ayan's heart. Days passed, then weeks. One morning, Rahim felt dizzy while arranging a bag of flour. He collapsed. Villagers rushed to help him. At the hospital, doctors gave the verdict: a weak heart, dangerously close to failure. He was advised, complete rest, but rest meant closing the shop. And closing the shop meant no money. Bibi cried silently that night. She held her husband's hand and said, "We will survive. I'll take care of everything. You just get better." From the next day, Nuro opened the shop. She didn't know business. She fumbled with money, mixed up prices, and faced rude customers. But she smiled through it all. The villagers, moved by her courage, started supporting her. Even the little children brought coins to buy candy to help her keep going. Ayan would run errands, and Alina sat by her father's side, reading him stories. Despite their efforts, the shop's income dropped. Medical bills piled up. One night, Ayan heard his parents whispering. "We can sell the shop," Noor said. "Use the money for your treatment." "No," Rahim replied. "The shop is not just wood and shelves, it is our dignity." The next morning, something magical happened. A customer came to the shop. A man in a neat suit, driving a luxury car. He looked around curiously and bought a small packet of biscuits. Then he said something surprising. "I lived here years ago. Your husband once gave me food when I had nothing. I'll never forget that kindness." It was the same boy Rahim had fed years ago. Now a successful businessman, he offered to help. But Rahim, still weak, shook his head and said, "I never gave to get something back. Just promise me one thing. If ever my children need help, don't hesitate." The man nodded, eyes moist. Months passed. Rahim's health worsened. One night, as rain fell again on the tin roof, he called Ayan beside him. "Bede," he said, "this shop is yours now. Not because it makes money, but because it gave us everything. Serve people. Don't become rich. Become good." The next morning, Rahim was gone. The village mourned. Shops closed. Streets were silent. Even those who barely knew him came with flowers. Years passed. Ayan, now a teenager, ran the shop. He kept the same shelves, same kindness, and same smile. He even gave away food to the poor, just like his father. But one day, tragedy struck again. A huge supermarket opened in the nearby town. Business in the village dropped. Ayan's shop, once lively, now stood mostly empty. Bibi fell sick. They had no savings. Ayan had to choose. Sell the shop or let his mother suffer. He sat on the shop steps, crying silently, remembering his father's words. That night, a luxury car stopped again in front of their shop. It was the same businessman, older now, but with the same kind eyes. "I made a promise to your father," he said. "I've watched you grow. I want to help." He offered to buy the shop, not to destroy it, but to expand it into a proper store and make Ayan the owner. He wanted to turn Rahim's kindness into a legacy. Ayan agreed. Not for money, but to keep the spirit of the shop alive. Months later, where once stood a humble wooden shop, now stood Rahim Marda, clean, beautiful general store with Ayan behind the counter and a picture of Rahim smiling from the wall. People came from far away to buy things, not just for the products, but to feel the warmth, honesty, and love that Rahim had planted years ago. One evening, as the sun set golden on the village road, little Alina, now a college student, walked into the shop with her books. Bibi, now better, helped her son organize things. And Ayan, looking at the shop and the people inside, whispered softly, "Abba, we did it." Moral of the story: Kindness never dies. The shopkeeper's love, generosity, and honesty became a legacy that not only fed his family, but inspired a village and even reached the world. In today's world, full of competition, goodness still wins. Sometimes, slowly, but surely.